All right, so if you guys follow me on the channel, you know I own 3 of the recent MPC standalone units, which is the MPC Key 61, the MPC X, and the MPC Live 2. I also own an older MPC, which is the MPC 2500, and yeah, they all sound good. Actually, the 2500 actually sounds a bit better, but that's for a whole nother day. But a lot of you guys have asked in the comments, which of the newer MPCs do I like the most? And the answer to that is all of them. Bolo! All right, before we get started, if you want any of these standalone units, you can go ahead and click the link in the description and go to zZounds.com, and you can go ahead and get these actually on a payment plan instead of paying everything outright. And if you're looking for any other equipment, they have a ton of equipment on this site that does not require a credit or background check. So you might want to go check that out. So go ahead and click that link in the description right now and go to zZounds.com and check that out for yourselves. All right, so number 1, we have my baby, the MPC X. Man, had this thing since it came out. Shout out to Honorable C Note. He went ahead and told me just to go ahead and buy it. I was still on my 2500, but he was like, yo, go ahead and get it. It's dope. And I've had this since they really came out. And this is probably, I'm not gonna say it's my favorite, but it's definitely a special place in my heart for this MPC X. Now, what makes this thing special? As you guys can see, everything is right here in front of your face. Everything. All the knobs, the buttons, and everything are right in front of your face. And you can go ahead, if you need to do something, it is very quick because everything is just like boom, boom, boom. Knobs everywhere. Everything is right here. Instead of you having to double click on menus and do other stuff on some of the other devices. This thing has everything you need right here in front of your face, and it gives you that classic MPC feel. And that's what I really like about it. Now, another thing I like about it is storage. You can add your own storage to it, and you can add an SD card in here as well. So you can just have storage upon storage. And I use my installed storage a lot, but I actually use the SD card more because when I'm making beats, I actually bounce everything down in here, save it on my SD card, and I just transfer it over to the computer that way. It just seems like it's much faster, especially when you're doing everything in standalone. Another thing I like about this is all of the inputs and outputs. Look at this. You got everything on here. Everything on here. And this thing has 2 inputs on here as well. And the MIDI hookups, you can do so much with all the MIDI hookups on here. And this just has so many different hookups to where you can hook up 2 keyboards at one time. You can hook up a record player to it. You can hook up, you know, regular MIDI DIN inputs on here, or you have the USB stuff. So this thing right here is a complete workhorse, and it's dope. Now let's talk about some of the things that I don't like about it. It's not portable, and it's a little bulky. It's really big. But if you're just in the studio, you have a few keyboards and stuff, you really don't have a mixer, you just want to have everything routed through here, this is the choice to go. Like, this is really dope. And yeah, this right here is special to me. All right, the MPC Live 2 is next. Now this thing is dope. This is so fun to make beats on because number 1, it is portable. And number 2, it has a built-in speaker, and the speaker actually sounds good. It actually has 2 speakers in here, and it sounds good. It has a good stereo image in it, and it does everything that the MPC X does. Does everything. Same operating system, same sound, same everything. Okay? The only problem with this is they don't have as many options on the front. So you have to do a little bit of double clicking, and you might have to go ahead and click on the pads to get to certain places, or you might have to double click down here. But this thing does exactly everything that the MPC X does, and it's much smaller. It's definitely much smaller. And I really like making beats on this, especially when I'm on the go. If I'm headed to the studio or something like that, I can just put this in my bag, put my MPC 37 key MIDI keyboard that just came out, take this with me, and this is all I pretty much need. And then a lot of times I don't even have to plug it in because it has this internal battery, and the battery lasts for a very long time, even when I rock it out. Now, another thing that I like about this thing is storage. It has an SD card on here, and you can insert your own hard drive inside here as well. Well, a solid state drive as well. Also, it has stereo inputs and it has 1/4-inch inputs on here. Has a lot of inputs, headphone out on here, and it has some MIDI options on here as well as the CV stuff on here in the back, and it has the USB stuff as well. All right, so let's talk about some things that I don't like. Of course, I would wish that they would have more, things laid out on here, but this thing is small. It's made to be portable, and I understand that they had to fit a lot of stuff on this very small unit. So I don't like it, but I understand why they did it, and it's really not that bad at all. The other thing is the inputs. I would really like for them to add maybe one more input, but like I said before, it's standalone, it's small, it's portable, everything is right here in front of your face. To be honest with you, there's really not much that you could really hate on this machine about, because it sounds good. It sounds just like all the rest of them. It does everything that the rest of the MPCs do, and it's portable, and it has a speaker on it. So this right here is really cool to work on. All right, so the last thing we have right here is the MPC Key 61. This is, I guess, now the new flagship thing over there. And this thing right here is very dope because it does the same thing that the X, the Live, and even the MPC 1, even though I don't have that, but I have used it. It has the same system in it, sounds exactly the same, does everything that all of the other standalone units do, and this has keys on it. Now, the only really difference with this is, of course, it has the keys on it. The screen is a little bit smaller. The pads on here are smaller as well, and the layout on here is a little bit different too. So it has a different layout, but it works just like the MPC Live 2. It has like the 4 knobs and everything, and you can switch these out, and it has the big knob you can select everything. Now, another thing they do is they have the little slider right here, which is cool. I don't really use it that much, but a lot of people say that the little slider thing is cool. I just haven't got into it. It's basically the same thing. It just has keys on it. And I think this has more RAM in it too. So far as the back, you will notice something that you do not see on this that you would see on everything else. There is no SD card slot, but it has everything else on here. It has the MIDI inputs and stuff, and there's only one input on here. Well, not one input, it's only one stereo left and right input on here. So yeah, don't know why they did that, but you can hook up an audio interface. I actually have an audio interface that I'm using. I have the Tascam Model 12, and I have this hooked up to it, and I can go ahead and add my keyboards and extra inputs that way. And this is very cool because this is more or less like a good all-in-one type of a solution. So you have everything in here, and if you're like somebody who likes to play on gigs and all that type of stuff, this would be dope because you can set everything up and get it up and running, and sounds just as good as all the other products, does the same things, same software, same everything, just has a few changes. And I'm really digging this because I've been using this the past couple of weeks a lot, and the more and more I use it, the more and more I like it. Let me put this back up, this thing heavy. So what's some of the things that I do not like about an MPC Key 61? There's a lot of real estate on the keyboard, and I think they could have added a few more knobs and stuff like that, but I kind of understand what they're trying to do. It would have been cool to have a few more knobs. Another thing is, you can add more storage. You can add an internal hard drive in there, but no SD card slot. And of course, it's not portable. And it has some weight to it. It's pretty heavy, but it does pack a powerful punch. Very powerful. And I've been using it. I've been liking it. And I think it's very dope for anyone who wants to get an MPC and just get something that's just all around with it. And it's actually cheaper than the X. So you get a lot of stuff with this, and it's standalone unit. You can do everything in it. Now, what's my final take on all of these? They all are great, and they all are in their own class. However, to me, I feel like the best one, personally, to me, I know some of y'all ain't gonna believe me, but it's the MPC Live 2. Why? Because it's portable, and it does everything that the other units do, and it's the cheapest out of all of them. And it's just something about the portability about the MPC Live 2 that I like, and it's really becoming one of my favorite devices. Now, the only thing is, with all the devices, if you do want to use the sounds that come with it, the internal sounds that you can purchase, you can only use 8 of those at the same time, which I don't understand why that's like that, but I guess it's dealing with a RAM issue or, you know, CPU issue. I don't really know. But yeah, other than that, these are very good units. I love all of the units. I still use all of them. And yeah, can't wait to see what Akai comes out with next. All right, so I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hope you guys learned something from it. And like I always say, peace out.